Now at 6 and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, a tornado hit North Texas last night. Mac has a storm update moments from now.
An Amber Alert is over in El Paso. A kidnapping suspect is arrested.
And the historic Luther Hotel in Palacios has a new owner, and he has big plans.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Yes, we've already begun with the thunderstorms. Here's Victoria. Most of the activity had missed the city today, but it's really going up Highway I-10 and 59 as well. In fact, right about now, with the Brazoria County is really under the gun for some severe weather. We'll be looking at big storms on and off all weekend long. We'll be talking about that coming up.
And the West Warriors at home this afternoon. And of course, we've got more NFL offseason noise. I'll have all that coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker.
And I'm Karina Garcia. We begin with weather this evening, so let's take it to Chief Meteorologist Mac Bettis.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. The big storms have arrived. They've missed the city so far, but it had certainly affected our friends up in Hallettsville. It got dumped by a big thunderstorm earlier this afternoon. You can see the activity rolling right down the I-10 corridor. It's the biggest activity now rolling into the greater Houston area. They're going to have all kinds of problems with afternoon drive there. This stuff was actually the one up in North Texas last night. We were talking about it here on the 10 o'clock news about the hail and the tornadoes and all that. Well, that has dropped southward and it's now on top of us. So for the weekend, this is the beginning of what's going to be kind of wet and kind of sloppy. And you can see how we have a severe thunderstorm warning right now for the Brazoria County right about there. Of course, Hallettsville is clearing up a little bit. We're going to have wave after wave of stormy weather rolling through. I don't think your outdoor plans are going to happen, so just consider that and keep your rain gear handy. We'll be talking more about your weekend coming up in just a few minutes.
Mac, thank you. Around 5:15 this afternoon, emergency workers were busy with this crash involving an ambulance at East Rio Grande Street and North Navarro Street. A Calhoun County EMS ambulance was transporting a patient and needed another ambulance to get that patient to their location following the crash with a car. The Victoria Fire Department says 4 people were taken to the hospital. A 5th person refused medical transport.
In El Paso, a father is accused of kidnapping his son and faces multiple charges. The El Paso Times reports 30-year-old Miguel Montoya was arrested late Thursday night after an hours-long SWAT situation at an El Paso motel. Montoya's reported kidnapping of his 2-year-old son, Kenji Montoya, led DPS to issue a statewide Amber Alert. Miguel Montoya faces charges including aggravated kidnapping with a deadly weapon. He is in the El Paso County Jail in lieu of $235,000 bond. The boy was safely recovered. A Houston man was arrested on 3 charges in Wharton County. 34-year-old Azel Sanchez Ramirez is charged with 2 counts of human smuggling. Those charges are from Brooks County. He is in the Wharton County Jail in lieu of $42,000 bond.
Port Lavaca police arrested a 76-year-old suspect Friday. Samuel Chavez faces 2 counts of aggravated sexual assault of a child. The charges first came out last September. Police told us they were putting the case together before they arrested the suspect. A suspect from Jasper was arrested by DeWitt County deputies. 41-year-old Robert Farmer is charged with online solicitation of a minor and obstruction or retaliation. He is in the DeWitt County Jail in lieu of $125,000 bond.
After a years-long legal battle, a historic hotel in Palacios is safe from demolition.
After the threat of demolition loomed over the Luther Hotel for several months, the hotel is now under contract to Palacios native Nick Herman. After legal battles in probate court, the historic 121-year-old Luther Hotel will once again host guests. Herman finalized the purchase and signed a contract buying the historic hotel from the Findlay estate. Herman fought to save the hotel since he first discovered the plans for demolition and has been working with donors, investors, hotel operators, and preservation experts. Margaret Doty is on the Palacios Preservation Association and has fought to save the Luther.
I think the Luther absolutely is officially saved. We're lucky we have a number of developers and operators, architects, a group of people who've been waiting for this day to be able to get together and look at the resources, look at the plans, and figure out exactly how the Luther will be restored, renovated, and doors open as a working hotel again.
Nick Herman's vision includes preserving the building's original charm while also reintroducing features like the longest porch in Texas. He paid $1.55 million for the property. The Palacios Preservation Association says they hope to have the hotel restored and opened in 2 to 2.5 years, so be on the lookout for the comeback of the Luther Hotel. Bringing us to your Veer poll. You can scan that QR code right there on your screen to vote. The question is, do you plan to visit the Luther Hotel when it opens? 41% of our viewers say yes, and the remaining 59% say no. And I'm not too bad.
Are you going?
Might as well.
Yeah.
We've been the Luther Hotel. Glad to see it back on its strong stand. So.
Palacios, very nice city.
Yeah. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and we're going to have an update on 25 News Now at 10.
U.S. Representative District 27 Michael Cloud put out a statement on why he voted for a ban on TikTok this week. He said TikTok, quote, is a key vector in China's unrestricted warfare against the United States, allowing the Chinese government access to millions of people's data and the ability to manipulate the data against Americans, unquote. A father from Texas died from a scuba diving accident in Florida.
His wife died recently of cancer.
And he called his big brother and told him that he was standing there and that he thought his daddy had drowned.
Kelly Bazayev says Wednesday she got a phone call back in Texas she'll never forget.
Then I just started to get to Florida.
The call is about her former son-in-law, Kenneth Lowry. She says since her grandson was 8 years old, his dad has taken him on a scuba diving trip to Florida. This time, 14-year-old David Lowry, or Xander as he's known, is the only one returning to Texas alive.
He, my grandson, they went out, I guess, on a boat. They went down. He knew there was problems. He knew, and he tried to get his dad back up, and he couldn't get him back up. So his dad pushed him up towards the top, and Xander came up as fast as he could. And when he came up, he looked back, and his dad wasn't there.
Authorities say the Republic 4 dive charter out of the Jupiter Dive Center took the father and son on a dive tour around 9 that morning. By 9:50, both divers went into the water. A few minutes later, authorities say Xander came up yelling for help. Roughly 10 minutes later, Jupiter Police and the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission were in the area of Captain Mike's Reef, which is about 6 miles offshore of Juno Beach, searching for Lowry. Following an extensive search, Lowry's body was discovered in the ocean. I spoke to one of the owners of the Republic 4 dive charter by phone. He told me he didn't have anything to say about yesterday's dive or the death of Lowry. Bazayev says Lowry was a great father to his 3 kids and to Xander's mother, whom he just lost to cancer recently.
He was phenomenal to my daughter as she was dying. He was there for her, even though they weren't together anymore. I mean, he was just that type of man.
Bazayev says the death of Xander's father means her grandson has lost both of his parents within the span of 3 weeks.
The U.S. Supreme Court Friday denied some West Texas A&M students' attempt to prevent President Walter Wendler from canceling another on-campus drag show scheduled for next week. Last year, Wendler banned student-led drag shows on the university campus. Students filed an emergency appeal with the Supreme Court seeking an injunction to ensure Wendler does not cancel a March 22nd drag show students planned. The lawsuit is before the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. That court will not hear arguments until April. Now, crowds gathered to watch the latest SpaceX Starship launch.
They saw the 3rd test flight of the Starship rocket as it launched from Boca Chica in South Texas.
A mix of anticipation and excitement in Port Isabel Thursday morning.
A lot of emotions, right? Super happy and yeah, just cheering on the team.
While everyone watching was a fan of SpaceX, it's more personal for Cesar Segovia.
All the long hours that we put into our work and basically seeing it lift, and hitting like our milestones as a company, definitely super excited.
Segovia is from the Valley and started working at Starbase 4 years ago. He's a material management supervisor at the Valley Spaceport. He brought his family with him to witness the special moment.
It was really exciting to watch and knowing that my uncle's been working on this. He looked really happy about it, and I'm really happy for him.
Years of work for many of those watching today, including Jivesh Kanuru.
Man, we've been really working pretty hard in order to get this launch off, and the entire time you have no idea if it's going to work or not.
His work focuses on the launch pad.
Actually seeing this thing take off has been like, oh man, I can't put words to it. Super incredible.
Feelings shared by his coworker, Paige Adams.
It's been really exciting to see like all of these huge progress leaps in each of the tests that we did. And this one is by far the most successful.
James Barden, who works with SpaceX's quality assurance team, says this launch was a first.
It was pretty incredible seeing it break through the atmosphere like that. Pretty exciting.
You cannot see it until it goes a little bit up, and then you can hear the whole blast. It's pretty amazing.
TxDOT recommended permanent closure of the DuPont Bridge at the Victoria Barge Canal. The closure starts March 29th. Access to property across the canal will require using the alternate route on Levee Road. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell so you can see Crossroads Today on YouTube. A spring break bummer in Miami Beach. Coming up on 25 News now at 6. Spring breakers are on the clock tonight in South Florida.
Also ahead, overnight tornadoes tore a path of devastation from Texas to Pennsylvania. Here's a look at Community Crossroads this weekend. We talk about the Victoria Art and Music Walk, followed by the Cuero Regional Hospital, the Victoria Kiwanis Club, and a special guest musical performance by Rosemarie.
Lift your chin up high. Take off your favorite shoes and let's go dancing in the sky.
You're about to see amazing and frightening video of a car plowing into a police cruiser.
Yeah, it happened near Sacramento, California, and officials say it was on purpose.
Heart-stopping moments caught on camera showing a car speeding along the right shoulder of the freeway before slamming headfirst into a California Highway Patrol car with 2 officers inside. Our cameras were on the scene minutes after the crash, initially thought to be an unintentional wrong-way accident. CHP now says the driver did this on purpose.
Acts of violence like this against our officers will not be tolerated.
The video given to investigators by a passing car shows the suspect's vehicle flipping several times. The moment of impact, leaving the patrol car a mangled mess of debris. The 2 officers inside, thankfully both wearing their seatbelt at the time of the crash. The 2 were hospitalized, one suffering major injuries, but are both now out and at home recovering.
CHP officers are on patrol every day, oftentimes at great risk to their own personal safety.
CHP now using this as an example, showing the risks officers face every single day.
The bravery each of you exhibit out in the field does not go unnoticed.
Promising to hold the individual accountable, wanting to send a strong message about the consequences of targeting law enforcement officers.
And as Dawn mentioned, a spring break bummer. Curfew in Miami Beach will take effect tonight. Curfew runs midnight through 6 a.m. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Businesses can keep operating during curfew for delivery services only. City officials will close public parking garages, limit beach entrances, and restrict sidewalk seating on Ocean Drive from Friday through Sunday. The restrictions are in response to recent violence during the spring break seasons. The death toll could rise as emergency response agencies assess damage and search for survivors following a wave of tornadoes across the central U.S. Thursday.
At least 3 deaths have been confirmed in Ohio as rescue and recovery operations there and in neighboring states continue at this hour.
This is one of several tornadoes reported to have ripped across the Midwest overnight, part of a devastating storm system that stretched from Texas to Pennsylvania, hitting states like Ohio, Indiana, and Kentucky the hardest.
I can best describe it as a bomb going off.
Incredible destruction in places like Ohio's Logan County, where multiple deaths were confirmed, along with dozens of injuries. Aerial surveys Friday revealing the aftermath.
Unbelievable damage. I can't describe it any more than just like an explosion.
There's one coming right at us.
In Indiana, additional search and rescue teams arrived Friday morning, searching collapsed structures that multiple twisters left behind, looking for survivors and prepared to recover any victims.
The wrath of this really begins today when people realize the magnitude of the destruction of their homes and of their livelihoods.
Along with tornadoes, huge, powerful hail rained over some areas.
You couldn't even see outside, and you could just hear the boom.
I could feel the glass hitting me, and I'm still shaking.
Many had nowhere to escape the falling rocks of ice.
So I crawled in the back seat with my daughter, and I was covering her up with one of her little jackets.
The threat of more tornadoes, hail, and heavy rainfall is moving east, targeting the southeastern and Gulf regions through Saturday.
And that activity was in Dallas last night. It is dropping down and it's now in our area. As a matter of fact, right now we've had some big stuff in the Houston area. We're doing okay here in the city, but it's not over with just yet. 81 right about now. Our high got up to 82 degrees. We didn't get any significant rain in Victoria City, but some of our friends did. We'll be talking about that and taking a look at your weekend in just a moment. Well, good evening, everyone. We've had some stormy weather around the area. So far, we've been lucky here, but you can see right about here, there's the I-10 corridor, and you can see how the big storms rolled right along the old Highway 90, and you can see how big activity rolled through Hallettsville. They had a big thunderstorm for about an hour. Now it's moving eastward. In fact, right about now, we're going to have a problem just south of Houston in Brazoria County. I'll show you what I'm talking about in a minute. But last night it was all up here, and then it dropped down here with the front, and this is where it's going to get stuck for the weekend. That's the problem. The frontal system isn't sweeping down. It's going to be hovering over our area, continuing this thunderstorm activity. Here's a slow motion view, and let me tell you what I'm talking about right about here. There's Hallettsville, there's Wharton, you can see right about here. There's Brazoria, there's Houston. I'm telling you right now, this thing either has big hail in it or it may have a tornado under it. So this is a big concern for us tonight. That's where the biggest warning would be located. But all of us in the Crossroads are in this severe thunderstorm watch that continues until tonight. No, more than likely it's going to get reestablished again tomorrow because we're likely to see more thunderstorms like that. Here's the problem area. Severe thunderstorms right there. So we are definitely under the gun for more rain. It's going to be here pretty much all weekend long. Here's what the enhanced area would be out in the southwest, but here's tomorrow. This is Saturday, and you can see how right here in the crossroads we're under the gun for a slight risk of possible severe thunderstorms. So we know we're going to get rain. The question is, will we get any hail out of this? It's marginal, but it's not unlikely. Now let's zoom in one more time and get a 3D. Well, there you go. Right here, there's Brazosport. You can see how tall the storm is. That tells you we've got a problem under that right now. There's another one up here in Westport, but then for the county, we're doing okay for the short term. Now, here's what's going to tell you what's happening. Here's tonight, Friday. That's what we expect tomorrow morning. Did you see that? We're going to big cluster of storms rolling through the area. That's Saturday morning. And then that one rolls off to sea. Then we get a couple hours of a break, and then another big line rolls through on Sunday. So we've got at least 3 big lines of storms moving through the area. Now it's not going to be a downpour all day long, but there will be discrete thunderstorms rolling around the area, thunder and lightning, and it really doesn't clear out until about Monday. So there goes your weekend. Your outdoor plans really going to be rearranged by this. You can see the forecast for Port Lavaca. This was Saturday. Shower activity on and off all day long, getting up to about 74. Scattered thunderstorms in Cuero pretty much all day with a high of about 75 to 76. And your extended outlook, well, I put up 2 alert days. That means that all of you are going to be affected by the amount of rain and the widespread nature of the rain over the crossroads. Now, on Monday, we do clear up for only 2 days, though, because that whole thing actually backs up as a warm front for additional shower activity middle of next week. Can you believe it? All of a sudden, we're busy. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. We'd love for you to scan that. Put Crossroads Today on your phone. We'll toss it back to Karina.
Thank you, Mac. And now here's sports reporter Zach Brown.
The West Warriors taking on the Carroll Tigers at Riverside this afternoon. I'll have the highlights and score coming up in sports. We have some zone crossover action over at Riverside Stadium. The West Warriors taking on the Carroll Tigers, and Carroll got on the board first in the second inning, and in the bottom half of the inning, West trying to respond, but an inning-ending double play preserves the 1-0 lead. By the way, defense and pitching would be the theme in this one. Victoria West trying to push a runner into scoring position, still down to 1 run, but a great throw from UTSA commit Dave Palomo nabs them and takes away that threat. But Victoria West, excellent defense themselves. Check this out. Big bounce for Bo Woods, who goes unassisted to second and on to first to get an inning-ending double play of their own. And just a few innings later, Bases loaded and a big bat at the plate, but a nice grab in right field to escape the bases loaded jam. By the way, still 1-0 heading to the 6th inning, but Carroll gets a big run in that 6th inning to make it 2-0. And in the 7th, with 2 down, they add a massive insurance run. And the reason why that run was so big, Victoria Westwood actually scored twice in the bottom of the 7th, and that's where they would be held. They lose a tough one. Final score 3-2. Speaking of great pitching, another Victoria East masterpiece, pitching a shutout, scoring 10 runs. Joey Lee allowed just 1 hit in the ball game against Flower Bluff. Mason Sockwell and Garcia each had 2 RBIs apiece, tied for the team high on the day. The East Titans cooking up something big this year, sit at 15-4 on the young season. They get Gregory Portland this Wednesday at Riverside Stadium. More NFL offseason news. A legend is retiring, that being Aaron Donald, who is just 32 years old. He has decided it's time to hang up the cleats. The likely future Hall of Famer was drafted to the Rams organization back in 2014 when they were still in St. Louis. He finishes as an 8-time first-teamer, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, and the big one, a Super Bowl champion. Speaking of Super Bowls, the defending champion Chiefs just got a whole lot better at their weakest position, that being wide receiver. After restructuring Mahomes' contract yesterday, they were able to sign Oklahoma Sooner great Marquise Hollywood Brown, adding a very good receiver, making the Chiefs that much tougher. The Cowboys made a pair of moves today, and they're saying goodbye to a pair of longtime stars in this organization. They had Leighton Vander Esch and Michael Gallup. Vander Esch could never quite avoid the injury bug, and he's listed as a failed physical designation. Michael Gallup listed as a post-June 1st cut. By cutting Gallup, they opened up about $9.5 million in cap space for the year. And over on the Texans side of things, they continue to make headline after headline, clearing cap space, gaining more assets. This morning, they traded away the first-round pick to Minnesota. In return, they get the 42nd pick this year, a 6th-round pick this year, and Minnesota's 2nd-round pick next season. That is it for your sports. Don and Karina, back to you.
Thanks, Zach. We're back in a moment. A cat found in Michigan is now a double amputee and is looking for a new home.
A two-legged cat is looking for a new home in Michigan. The feline was brought to an animal shelter and needed both front legs amputated due to an injury or abuse. The Humane Society received the cat Monday and named him Tyrannosaurus Rex. He was found severely injured in a yard underneath a boat. The staff says they do not know what caused the injury, but say it might have been caused from a snare trap or possibly from abuse. T-Rex has already been neutered. So if you would like T-Rex, check out those folks in Michigan. They'd love to find a new home for
T-Rex.
that kitty with two legs. My gosh, what a deal. What a deal.
What a baby.
Hey, we're looking at some stuff, folks. We've already got pea to dime-sized hail reports in the Shiner area, and that was before it even went through Hallettsville. So now the question is, will the hail come this way?
Not tonight. Tomorrow, when the next wave comes through, we may have some hail to deal with over the weekend for sure. And we've got 2 waves of stormy weather rolling through. So for tonight, we're okay if you're going to be going out. But tomorrow, you just got to keep your eyes on the skies, folks, because we're going to be seeing periods of stormy weather, thunder, lightning, all that stuff. And by Sunday, we may have had enough rain to actually have a little bit of flooding problem. So we're certainly going to be watching for that. And then Monday, we do get a little bit of a clearing. There goes the weekend.
All right, thank you, Mac, and thanks for joining us.
We hope to see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 10.